Hello. In the previous part, I have discussed about the shear force concept in the beam. So now in the step 11, we will check the dimension of the beam for the shear consideration. Like if the size of the beam is sufficient for shear consideration, we will check that. And this shear consideration is like it says critical section for the shear is at the face of the support. As I said that if this is a beam on both sides, critical section of the shear will be near here, which means beam will fail under shear at a critical section, and that critical section is near the face of the support, which will be here. So I have explained this in the previous part, how this critical section will form. So you can refer to that. So, and this is mentioned in the clause here. In the IS code, if you go to this clause number, it is being mentioned there that critical section will be at the face, near the face of the support. So therefore, first of all, to check the shear consideration, first of all, we will find out maximum shear force. I have explained how do we find out this W into L by 2. So this is actually the reaction at the support, which is WL by 2. Then we will find out the nominal shear stress, which is tau v. Now the value of tau v formula I have discussed in the previous part, and the same formula is given in this clause also, which is tau v is equals to v by bd. So I will show you the same formula in the IS code also. So there you can see on page number 83, B5, which is about the shear force. So in the shear force, first parameter that we have to find out is the nominal shear stress. And the formula is given here, tau v is equals to v upon bd. So this is the formula that we will be using to find out the tau v. Tau v is called nominal shear stress, and it is because of the external force. And v is the shear force that we calculate. Now, so after calculating the value of tau v, we make sure that this tau v value is not exceeding the value of tau c max. As I said, that tau c max is the maximum shear strength of the concrete, and we can find out the tau c max value from the table 24, which is given in the IS code. In this clause, I will show you the same table. So it says tau v should not exceed tau c max. If by chance, if tau v exceeds tau c max, then we can say that beam will fail under shear because of the diagonal compression. So to resist against the diagonal compression, we make sure that tau v is less than tau c max. Now, how do we find out tau c max? I will show you the table in the IS code. So there you can see on page number 85, maximum shear stress, which is tau c max, it is given here. So tau c max value depends on the grade of the concrete. So if we are using M25 grade, the value of tau c max will be 1.9 Newton per mm square. Okay, so this is from this table we can find out the value of tau c max, and then we can compare this with the tau v. So here we can say that if tau v is less than tau c max, then beam will not fail in diagonal compression. It will not fail in diagonal compression if tau v is less than tau c max. So the problem of diagonal compression is taken care of by this criteria. Tau v is less than tau c max. Now, how do we take care of the problem of diagonal tension? We will see that now. It says in case, by chance, if this criteria is not satisfying, it says in case if the value of tau v is more than tau c max, in that case what we have to do is we have to increase the beam dimension, and beam should be redesigned starting from the step 2. Actually, we have two options. Either we increase the grade of concrete, say for example earlier we have used M20. So to check this, what we will do is we will change the grade of concrete to the higher grade. Earlier if we have used M20, then in the next case we will use M25. Or we have to change the dimension, which means we have to increase the D value. And again, we have to go back to step 2 to again redesign the beam. So if such condition occur, so this is the thing that can be taken care of by providing the proper dimensions of the beam. So this is again a check for the shear force. Now going to the next step. Now once this condition is satisfied, which is tau v should be less than tau c max, then what we do is we calculate permissible shear stress, tau c. Well, this tau c is also called permissible shear stress without shear stress of concrete without shear reinforcement. So this is the actual name of this value, tau c. So now we have to find out this tau c value to make sure whether we need to provide shear reinforcement to resist the diagonal tension, because this condition can be taken care of for the diagonal compression, but to take care of diagonal tension, we have to calculate another parameter, which is tau c, and which is actually the permissible shear stress of concrete without shear reinforcement. So we have to find out this tau c value also, and this tau c value can be find out from the table 23. Now table 23, I will show you again this table to show the value of for the tau c. So there you can see this is the table 23. So in the table 23, in the first column, it shows a formula 100 into AS by BD. Well, this is actually the formula of percentage of the steel. This AS is the area of steel at the support. By chance, if we are providing bent up bar, then minimum 2 bars should be there in the support. So whatever area of steel is there at the support, we have to find out that area of steel in terms of the percentage. So AS will be the area of steel at the support, BD is the cross-sectional dimension, and multiplying by the 100, we can find out the percentage of the steel. So once we find out the percentage of steel, if it is 0.25, if it is by chance, if the percentage of steel at support, if it is 0.25, and if we are using M25 grade of concrete, then the tau c value will be 0.23. So this is how we find out corresponding to this. So this is how we find out the value of tau c using this table. So again, I will use this table when we will solve the problem. So now from table 23, we can find out tau c, tau v we have already find out, tau c we have already find out. Now our main criteria is to satisfy, to take care of diagonal tension. So in that case, we compare tau v and tau c value. Now as per this clause, if the tau v is less than tau c, then there is no need to provide shear reinforcement, but still IS code recommend that minimum shear reinforcement in the form of vertical stirrups should be provided as per clause number this. So although if tau v value is less than tau c, there is no need to provide shear reinforcement, but again IS code recommend that you need to provide a minimum quantity of shear reinforcement in the form of vertical stirrups. So I will show you this clause, and I will show you the formula which we will use to find out the minimum reinforcement, minimum shear reinforcement in the IS code. So there you can see this is the clause number 26.5.1.6, and it is clearly written that minimum shear reinforcement can be provided using this formula. Now in this formula, there are some parameters which are given here. Fy is the grade of yield stress of the concrete, sorry, of the steel, and SV is the spacing of the stirrups. Like if this is the beam and these are the reinforcement, in that case we provide stirrups. So what will be the spacing of the stirrups? That we find out using SV value. So this is the SV value And ASV, what is ASV? Well, stirrups look like this, and this is the beam cross section, and this is the bar. Okay, so this vertical line of the stirrup and this vertical line of the stirrup, they are actually the effective to for resisting shear force. So that is why we only consider this vertical line of the stirrup to calculate the effective area of cross section of the stirrup legs. So ASV is called total cross sectional area of stirrup legs effective in shear. So in one stirrup there are two legs. One leg is this one, and the second leg is this one. So two legs are there. So area of cross section of these two legs will be 2 multiplied by pi d square by 4, and d will be the dia of the stirrup bar. Okay, so this is how we find out ASV value. Then B is the width of beam. This will be the width of beam. And Fy is the characteristic strength of the stirrup reinforcement. And generally, it should not be taken more than 415 Newton per mm square. Okay, so for HYSD bars, we will take Fy value as 415. Okay, so using this formula, what we are going to do is we actually calculate this spacing. How much spacing should be there within the stirrups. So this is how we find out the minimum shear reinforcement in case if tau v value is less than tau c. So now I'm again moving to the slide. So in the slide, we have covered this point, and it is given in the this clause again. Now it says if by chance if the value of tau v is more than tau c, in that case we have to provide shear reinforcement as per clause number 5.4. I will show you this clause, and then I will show you the formula that we will be using for calculating shear reinforcement to resist the diagonal tension. So here you can see this is the clause number B 5.4, which is design of shear reinforcement. So as it says, when the value of tau v exceeds tau c, shear reinforcement shall be provided in any of the following. So either we provide shear reinforcement in terms of vertical stirrups, or in terms of bent up bars, or inclined stirrups. Well, inclined stirrups generally we don't provide inclined stirrups because of some difficulty in the construction. So generally we provide shear reinforcement in case of in the form of vertical stirrups or bent up bars, or combination of both. So shear force, the shear force resisted by the vertical stirrups, we can calculate that using this formula for vertical stirrups, and shear force resisted by the bent up bar, we calculate that using this formula. So generally in this there is a formula sine alpha. I am again making a diagram, a small diagram for the beam. So by chance, like this is the beam reinforcement, and sometimes we bent up this. So what will be the angle? So this, I'm again making this. So this reinforcement will look like this. So this angle is generally 45 degree. It should not be less than 45 degree. So this angle is the alpha. Okay, so generally this alpha is equivalent to 45 degree. So until and unless mentioned in the problem, we will take alpha as 45 degree. ASV is again area of cross section of the bent up bar. Sigma SV is the permissible stress in the bent up bar. And in this formula also, sigma SV is the permissible stress in stirrups. ASV is the effective cross sectional area of the legs, and D is the depth, effective depth, and SV is the spacing of the stirrups. So this is the shear force resisted by the stirrups. So this formula we will use to find out the spacing, and this formula we will use to find out the shear force resisted by the bent up bar. Also, one important thing which is being mentioned in the question in this IS code, it says where bent up bars are provided, their contribution towards shear resistance shall not be more than half that of total shear reinforcement. it says if total shear force which is to be resisted by shear reinforcement is V, in that case the contribution of the bent up bar cannot be more than V by 2. Okay, so this we will more see, we will look more into it more clearly when we will solve the example. So now we have seen this clause, and we have seen all the formula that are being involved to find out the shear reinforcement. So 11th step is about checking the uh, dimension for the shear consideration. So in this we just need to make sure whether shear reinforcement is needed, I mean it is required to be provided or not. So by chance, if it is not required to be provided, then we just simply provide minimum reinforcement. But by chance, if it is required to be provided as per this clause, then we move to the next step, which is the step 12.